Hi, I'm Alan Hovis. I'm a real estate broker, contractor, and property and casualty insurance agent here in Florida. We've put this channel together for you to answer your questions about buying and selling real estate here in Florida. If you've got additional questions you haven't found answers yet to, just put them in the comments below and we will get back to you. Or maybe we'll make a show about them. Thank you for watching.
Today we are speaking with one of the premier mortgage brokers in the Sarasota-Bradenton area, but he's licensed for and can practice in the entire state of Florida. I have worked with Shawn Martin for a good 15 years and can personally attest to his knowledge and professionalism. That is why I chose Shawn to do this mortgage series. So let's ask Shawn all of the questions we usually hear when working with buyers. Okay, Shawn, question one. What do I need to get to you to get a pre-approval letter?
So typically when people are calling, finding out what their options are as it relates to what they can afford or what type of mortgages are available for them, we usually start with a conversation. So the conversation is going to involve A, what is their goal? Are they looking to buy a house that they're going to be living in? Is it a vacation home? Is it an investment property? And you go through a series of questions to find out exactly what they're trying to accomplish. Most of the time, people that are calling and asking, what do I do to get pre-approved, are really just trying to find out what they can do to buy a new home, typically to purchase. So my answer to the question of what do I need to do for a pre-approval is have a conversation with a local mortgage person and find out what their typical protocol is. In my office, what we typically like to do is take a loan application, which involves getting their name, their address, their social security number, relevant financial information, including income, assets, they're getting down payment assistance, what type of things have they considered as far as multifamily, single family. Once you've figured out that they're financially capable of buying a home, then you sort of go through their income, figure out what types of liabilities they already have, and you try to narrow down a price so they can easily qualify the new payment is. So start with a conversation, finish with an application, and then once you have the application, you've got to start gathering the relevant documents.
So when I have this letter, am I guaranteed a mortgage if the purchase price is at or below the amount that I'm pre-approved for?
The answer is there's never a guarantee because there's a lot of different things that can make a mortgage application not be able to complete the process. Typical things that could come up. When somebody's giving a pre-approval or you've gotten a letter, there may be items that are unknown about the property. We recently received an application where the property was uninhabitable. It had been lived in by somebody never taking care of the property. It's now derelict. The home has been condemned, and yet they're calling to buy it. And their ultimate goal was to knock the property down, but they weren't applying for a lot loan. They were trying to buy a house to live in, and so the pre-approval would have been fine for that particular borrower on a different property, but for that property, we weren't able to proceed with that transaction. So the answer is just having a pre-approval doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to be able to get a house, but it should be able to qualify you for a certain amount of money for some particular property.
So I found this property that is in my budget and I want to buy it. So now what?
So once you've found the house that you wanted to buy, the next thing that I would do in that situation, I would have a conversation with your loan originator, somebody in my position, and talk a little bit about how much we're going to put down on the house, go over some different types of interest rates, talk to your realtor, and you're going to make sure that she knows what the terms are that you're going to want to, she or he, I should say, how much you're going to put down, and give her all that relevant information. She will make the offer and she will present the pre-approval letter with the offer with the terms as the letter states.
Okay, so I have an accepted contract at a price that's within my budget as we've determined. Where do I go from here?
That's it. Now you've done the hard part. You found the house, you've got an accepted offer. The next step is provide a copy of that contract to your loan originator. At that point, your loan will begin to go into processing. What does that mean? We take the contract, we put all the relevant information from the contract into your loan file. At that point, have you sign a series of application, generic disclosures, loan estimate, all of the regulatory forms that need to be signed. Once those have been signed, you can now move the loan into processing. Processing simply means take all of the information information that we have. We order an appraisal, we order title work, we order insurance from an insurance provider of your selection, and the loan is ready once we have all those items to be submitted to underwriting. So getting the contract is the biggest part of this deal, and then everything just goes downhill after that. Downhill being starts moving very quickly. We start getting the necessary items from the third parties, and we get a loan approval. There's always some things that we don't have at the time of loan approval, and get those things, get the loan into closing. The day you get the contract, the day you close is usually a 20 to 30 day process.
Okay, Shawn, is there anything you would like prospective buyers or realtors to know about pre-approval letters?
Well, there are some very, very important things to know about any pre-approval. Number one, they're not all inclusive. Certain condominium complexes may not be qualified for traditional financing. Just because you have a pre-approval letter, again, like we mentioned before, there could be things that we don't know at the time we issue a pre-approval letter. We might not know the property you're buying. We might not know that it's a project, whether it's an HOA or whether it's a condominium association that has been on some sort of a list that cannot be qualified to get a traditional mortgage in there. So the pre-approval letter should be okay, but again, things could come up. I've had a guy actually resign from his job in the middle of his loan application. He says, "Don't worry, it'll be fine. I got another job lined up." Well, the other job wasn't starting for another 2 months, so we did have to work around that. So again, as long as information doesn't change, you should be okay once you get a pre-approval. But again, getting the property sort of also pre-flighted or run a property by a particular mortgage person to make sure there's no known issues with that property is another important step.
Shawn, thank you. Appreciate it. Special thanks to Shawn for taking the time to answer these mortgage questions for us. Now, Shawn runs the Martin Funding Group, which is a division of Cogent Bank. If you'd like to speak to Shawn directly about applying for a Florida mortgage, their number is 941-349-3863. His email is shawn@martinfunding.com. And we'll put a link to their website in this video's description. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Hopefully the content in today's video has helped you answer some questions. If so, please like and subscribe. It helps us keep the channel going and answering all of your questions. Now, I work in the Sarasota-Bradenton market, but we have referrals for agents all over the state of Florida. My contact information is below and in my website, alanhovis.com. And if you are a Florida real estate agent, please contact us if you'd like to be on a referral list. That's it for now. We'll see you in the next video.